In question number 8, they're giving us some information and asking us to calculate the a value and to write the equation of the parabola given that information. The information they give us includes the vertex and a point that it passes through. Since it's going to ask us to write an equation, we'll need to remember that the equation of a parabola always looks like a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Remember, we call that graphing form. Even though it might seem like they didn't give us very useful information, we hopefully can recognize a couple of things. First, the vertex always counts as the variables h and k in the original graphing form equation. So since h and k are given to us, we could plug in those numbers. The -5 could go in as h, and the -1 can go in as k. Now, because we could also plug in some additional stuff, we can remember that the point they gave us is -3 and -13. A point always counts as the letters x and y, since those are indeed its coordinates. So if I take each of those parameters, that basically gives me a bunch of numbers that I can plug into the equation. I could plug in the y value as -13, so -13 equals a, since they didn't give me that, parentheses, x, that's -3, minus h, minus -5 would be +5, squared, and then minus k, plus k, that comes out to be -1. Now, when we take a look at what we've got, you can see we've plugged in something for basically everything except for the a. But we can use algebra now to solve for that a value. If I simplify everything using PEMDAS, you can see that we have -3 plus 5, which is 2. 2 squared would give me 4. And then if I continue solving the equation, you'll notice a times 4, that's a little awkward. I'm going to write it as 4a, so it looks a little more typical. If I try to get a by itself, I can add the 1. That would give me -12 equals 4a. And if I divide by 4 on both sides, we can tell now that the a value is going to end up being -3. Since I solved algebraically for the a value, that means to go back to my original equation, I now know all the parameters that I need. I know the a value, that's now -3, and I already knew the h and the k values because those were the values that they gave me for the vertex originally. So the equation of my parabola now is y equals a, -3, parentheses x minus h, minus -5 would be +5, squared, plus k, which is really -1.